So I'm so excited to share which flowers came through because I feel like there's like little echoes of everything in here, and it's just pure magic. I don't understand it all. We can't understand. So the flowers that came through were goldenrod, chickweed, calendula, and anemone.
Wow.
Um, and so there's like a lot of dichotomy here, but um, it's not like it's not polarity. It's like dichotomy and the place where these things kind of merge together. I think we're really in a point as a collective where I think we're ready to like start getting closer to the center of things and be less, polarized, or at least some of us, maybe some of us aren't, but I think especially like sensitive people are really ready to start coming to the place where these, two opposing forces meld into one, and there's, this nuance required to engage in that space. And I think you see it right away with the first two, which were the first two that came through, goldenrod and chickweed. Goldenrod really is about staying true to our individual selves within a community and knowing what it is we're here to contribute, what is our inner light and what is others' inner light, and those not needing to compete with each other, you know, trusting what you are, trusting what you have to offer, trusting your place in the revolution,
Mm.
um, and really seeing yourself and standing tall within the differences that you have, but also being a part of a larger community. And then chickweed is like it's similar, but it's also kind of opposite because it's all about community. It's all about, you know, you're just a part of a larger constellation of stars, but you're still a star. Like, don't forget that. But also, you're part of this larger constellation. And I feel like there was a message coming through around the importance of stepping into your sovereignty, stepping into your unique gifts, and really owning those and taking responsibility for them. And also allowing yourself to be held and supported by others, allowing other people to give to you when they have more than enough. And um, this kind of weaves in the calendula piece as well. Calendula is really a lot about reciprocity and abundance. It's such an abundant flower. If you've ever like had it at your house and picked the heads off, you know, the next day there's like 10 more flowers. It's so incredible. And when you meet calendula, it's just this bright, cheery flower. And I was working with calendula today actually, and a lot of the message that was coming through was about increasing our capacity for havingness and desire, and being able to hold more of what it is we desire, being able to hold more abundance. Because part of the process of receiving that abundance is increasing our capacity to be able to hold it once it arrives.
Amen.
um, and so, yeah, very associated with abundance. I love that that came up, and also so associated with creativity too. Um, I think we are witnessing a lot of the energy of destruction, and we're kind of coming into this, this melding point again when we're thinking about creation and destruction. When we're witnessing a lot of destruction in the world, it can be easy to want to, hunker down and take on all of that energy and, you know, let it make us heavy. But what if we, in reaction to that, create? What if we put more of the balancing energy out into the world? And so I feel like this is an invitation to do that, and a recognition of how important your creativity is. And calendula is also a beautiful, soothing flower. So you can really call on her anytime your heart feels overwhelmed or tender. She's really, it's I was seeing a lot of orange and yellow, so there was a lot of, the womb and the solar plexus, but this is also heart medicine. I think they're all very connected. A friend and I were talking about how, um, just how much the reciprocity and the creation are kind of like, again, this theme of like this infinity knot that's happening. Um, and so calendula like effortlessly connects us to both of these places at the same time. and then anemone. So, um, anemone, also called windflower, is a brilliant ally for teaching us how to like move with the winds of change and how to surrender a little bit more deeply to what's happening around us and in life, but also be firmly planted within ourselves. And it can help us be able to feel the joy. And this, I feel like, is where the inner child stuff is coming in. Anemone is definitely a fairy flower. Chickweed is too. But it can help us with that feeling of, always worrying about when the other shoe is going to drop and not being able to sunk into the juiciness and the beauty and the wonder and the joy available to us in each and every moment. Um, and there's also something coming through around, this piece of desire, this piece of joy, and being able to still experience those even when there are hard times happening in the world, and not being hard on yourself for having positive emotions. Because
Mm.
again, there's like when things are really heavy, having a dance party is putting balancing energy out into the world. But as humans, we can get really hard on ourselves and be like, I shouldn't be doing this. People are suffering. Um, and that's so beautiful. You have such a big heart. And, speaking to myself as well here, um, but you also suffering, like, yes, it's important to grieve. Yes, it's important to do what you can, but you also suffering isn't helping anything. It's a false sense of contributing to the situation. Um, and so maybe how can you create something? How can you add more joy and beauty to the world in those really challenging moments? Um, yeah, I think that's what I have to say about that. That they
I
all kind of have like a little square knot happening. They all come together really really beautifully.
Gorgeous. It's just it makes so much sense, and I just love yeah, I can feel that kind of the word I think you used the word dichotomy. Yeah, I feel like I definitely see that, but there's, like, this beautiful weaving, and I it just completely resonates for me. Um, yeah, I think it's beautiful, and also I just wanted to add to the calendula, um, it's interesting because 'cause I've been thinking a lot about the upper limit of holding abundance and how important it is to be able to, like, strengthen yourself, to be able to hold that, like, what comes to you, and when you don't have that ability, it actually doesn't come to you because it's just, like, you're not prepared for it, so it's so incredibly important, to have that, so it's so interesting that that came through as well.
Yeah, I think focusing on your nervous system, especially right now, is, never bad work to be doing. And our nervous system is really what allows us to hold things, hold energy, hold whatever it is, and just increase that little by little.
Right.
Because our vibrations are shifting. I think it was yesterday, like the biggest solar flare of all time was recorded or something like that. Fact check me, I could be wrong. But, we've seen a lot of solar flares. We've seen like, you know, unprecedented hurricane activity. We've seen, I was just reading something today about how a year ago there was um, a earthquake that shook the entire world for 9 days because of a glacier falling in, I think it was Greenland. There's all this stuff happening that's changing the vibration of our experience and our bodies. And so, yeah, expanding our capacity is definitely underlined and circled right now.